back, and we are throwing chairs at the Talos Principle by Croteam, built on the Sirius Engine 4. And you can pick this up for, if you live in Europe, $20. If you live anywhere else, $40. That's right. Croteam says fuck your currency, because it doesn't need it. But what is it? The Talos Principle is a first-person puzzle game in the tradition of philosophical science fiction, made by Croteam, the creators of Serious Sam, and written by Tom Jubert, FTL, and Swiper, and Jonas Kyratzes, the sea will who made the sea will claim everything.
Kyratzes.
It's very similar to Portal in that you sort of run around and solve puzzles, and instead of GLaDOS, you have to deal with God. So, of course, we have to judge our god, or their god rather, using the chair acquisition. One chair means that it's crap chairs, 2 chairs means that it's meh, 3 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means that's amazing! And we also have our categories of Doom, mixed with working, and shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So, let's kick this off. Then, how did the Talos Principle make with the working?
Yeah, they made not working. Really, it did. Well, not at first. Let's start at step 1. I tested this on the Ubuntu 14.04 LTS 980. Remember that. It's going to be important. 4K displayed box of business. And this has been fixed. Fair enough. But when I first launched it, thanks Croteam, they sent us 3 keys.
Now, remember that. It's going to be important too.
Launched it, and it immediately went, nope, your system cannot possibly play this amaze sauce that we've created. And it was like, would you still like to continue? And I'm like, why are you fucking telling me that? And saying, have at.
I guess it's giving you just the warning, hey, this may not work.
Right. And, then again, I was like, oh, man, should have bought those Titans. That 980 is not going to cut it. Damn, Ben, what were you thinking? But I persisted, and at the time, this was working in the public beta.
This was like Tuesday.
Yeah, this was sorted. Yeah. And they just released a patch, which got them back another chair for this week. This game's been out for more than a month, all right? So, with all that, here's another issue. Resolution options. Fuck you, because that's why. Sometimes you don't want to play everything in 4K, but you might ask, how many FERPs are you getting in 4K with a 980? Usually between 45 and 57, somewhere in there. And it's all right, and that's with everything on YOLO swag. So I could probably get a lot better if I cut it down to something less awesome. But I was like, I want to see how many FPSs I can get in 1080, because fuck all, it doesn't manage scaled resolution, so I couldn't do 1440 or anything like that. So I went to 1080, and I said, okay, 1080 full screen, and it went dying of fire. Seriously, it had the scrolly desktop of Doom, which I haven't seen in a long time, but most people know what I'm talking about. It runs in a window, and then you can just play in 1080 in a window without borders and a fucking screen that big. No, I don't think so. Losing a chair for that noise. 3 chairs is making the working. J-Man.
Yeah, I also got the cannot run your game on the 670 powered AMD 1090T Fedora 64 or a Fedora 2064-bit box. But I mean, beyond that, I mean, you click OK and it works fine. I was averaging, I don't know what's up with the frame rate in this game, because like sometimes it'll be stupid high, and other times if you're just standing still, it'll idle at about like 22. I don't know what's going on with that. It's a bit screwy. But beyond that, I mean, it runs perfectly fine. I didn't have an issue, so 4 chairs.
Well, much like you guys, my Asus 970 Strix was not recognized at first. The games would still play fine. The message just kept showing up, even if you asked for it not to show up, because it offers to stop bothering you with it, but it doesn't work. So yeah, then I updated to the public beta, and oh, the message is gone. Now, the latest patch, they merged the public beta back into the mainstream, and it's fixed. So I can't really ding them a chair for it. And on the Amiga, with the FX 8370E and the Asus 970 Strix, it worked pretty much reasonably out of the box. 4 cheers.
So that's 3 cheers for Makes with the Working. Now for shiny and sounds, Ven.
So I got something. The Thurps FPSs, however you want to enunciate it, completely all over the place, and that always brought me back to Ryan over at PC Player when he was doing frame pacing or frame rating or whatever he wanted to call it, which is basically not just the raw number, but if that frame is actually doing fuck all to help smooth shit out. And that's the only thing I could think, because what J-Man said, you could be looking at something beautifully complex, and it's like zooming along, and again, I'm kind of stuck unless I want to play it in a whole fucking window, playing this at, the full 4K resolution, UHD.
Oh, I feel so bad for you.
I know, cry to you. And I'm not getting 60, only 50. But, I mean, it would hit 57, something like that. Then you're like, oh, look, a penny, and you look down, it's like, you get 20 frames per second, fuck you. And that just genuinely irritated me, on top of not being able to, put it in 1080p or, 1440 or anything like that. But let's talk about shiny. Yeah, you do know immediately this is from the creators of Serious Sam, because that texture palette, they only got that one, man. Not only just the architecture and the colors. It's like, yep, that's Croteam. That's what they know. Doesn't look bad. Looks fine. Until, there's some things you can do, like playing around with things but they don't really lock it off correct. You can jump out of the zoned in areas and just whoosh, nope out and run and run and run and run. And eventually, like, the hand of God will come back and drop you back in the level. And I was like, okay, I didn't think
Well, it's that guy from Mario Kart.
Right. The hand or whatever it was.
Or the wall masters from Legend of Zelda.
Probably the biggest thing that I missed from this game is, and I'll talk about this later in the fun section, is when I'm playing a puzzle game, I don't play it for sounds. So I just normally didn't even have the headphone on at all. Outside of that, I mean, with the graphical slowdown, and yeah, I'm sure it had sounds, narration, and all the story, I didn't really care about, because that's not what I look for in a puzzle game. But I'm still going to give it 3 cheers, because I think it's a pretty solid looking bit of kit.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. He's pretty. I mean, the soundscape is mostly atmospheric. You hear just stuff in the background and things rustling. You're in like a giant computer program, so you hear like the random computer noises that remind you, oh, by the way, you're in the land of Tron, except it's green. Which, I'm glad that Croteam has expanded their color palette beyond brown, because that's all I saw in Serious Sam 3. I'm going to be comparing this game a lot to Serious Sam 3, because I was so let down by this. Or by Serious Sam 3, anyways. Yeah, I mean, the game looks pretty. The frame pacing is a bit off at times. It doesn't really detract from the whole experience. The narration is kind of interesting as you start getting introduced to some of the other characters aside from, I'm Elohim, I am your one true God. Actually, funny story. I had that Steam likes to grab my speakers and crank them to full whenever I launch a game. And so I'm going through the intro for Talos Principle, and he's like, I am Elohim, I am your creator, blah, 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 walk in my garden. And my roommate just runs in and is like, Jordan, are you turning Christian on me? I'm like, no, he's a robot. It's an allegory. Calm your tits. And he's like, you sure? Yes. Which, I mean, I appreciate him making sure that I'm not, drinking the Kool-Aid and whatnot, but still. Funny little anecdote. 3 cheers for shiny sounds.
Yeah, so I have a counter argument for Ven's no sounds in puzzle games. GLaDOS.
Oh, did you watch our playthrough of Portal 2? This guy did not pay attention to anything.
Yeah, I did. It was kind of excruciating, but yeah. First and foremost, the things I did not like about the shinies and Talos Principles. What the hell is up with the shadows? This is Skyrim level bad. If you ever started Skyrim, even on Ultra, and you look at a shadow, it's like, what the hell is this blocky shit? Same thing here. You need to go into the options, find the appropriate slider to slide all the way up, because even on Ultra, it's about halfway up the thing. So it's good. And Ven and Jordan both already mentioned, but yeah, the frame times are all over the map. Personally, I blame the texture fuck-ups in the walls, which apparently are intentional, since, you know, they have to remind you that that is technically
It's a simulation,
happening inside
Harry.
a computer. Yeah.
Reboot.
Yeah. Those two are me, you know, having to actually look at the minute details and nitpicking all the stuff that I really didn't like, because in general, it looks amazing. And I'll also admit that I spent 20 minutes, not even at the main menu, the intro before the menu, 20 minutes just sitting, listening to the music, looking at the broken scenery. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. I would give it 4 chairs, but I can't because, again, shadows, frame times, 3 chairs.
All right, so that's 3 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Now they're the shorts. Here, sorry, there was a glitch in the Matrix. Now for the control section. It's
Controls.
going to be short.
Kind of hard to fuck this up, and they didn't, Brad, so don't worry about it. Using the yellow swag gerbil of gerbilness, no problem. Cut on gerbil smoothing, though, because that not on is like even worse than you can imagine. Keyboard default, completely laid out, sane. You don't have to do anything fast and tricky, but definitely with the gerbil smoothing, because a lot of shit you have to place has to be hella precise. And once that's sorted, no issue. And it was an option right there. So, boom. 4 chairs. I don't know if this works with a controller organ, and don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a first-person game. You don't really play them with controllers unless, you know, you got the auto aim going. Yeah, but as for controls, it's pretty standard FPS fare. There's nothing really I can comment on it. The default layout is your standard WASD, mouse click, E for use stuff. Yeah, 3 chairs.
3 chairs?
3 chairs.
Boom.
I mean, it's not like absolutely perfect. My brain isn't exploding from the awesomeness that is the controls. But
Yeah, so 2015, look, there's rebindable keys and a
Thanks-
working
thanks,
mouse sensitivity
Extension 4.
slider. Croteam, you spoiled me. 4 chairs.
all right, so that's 3 chairs for controls. And finally, the subjective category, fun. Ben, did you have fun?
It's not Portal, and I know. And it was like, you have to be some knuckle dragging Neanderthal. It's like, but it's kind of resembling Portal over here. I mean, let's just face it. There's not a whole lot of game-breaking new mechanics in this business. At best, I'm going to say for it, it's a slightly above average puzzle game, you know, first-person style. And when I say above average, yeah, with an asteroid, because things get hella repetitive, hella quick. And again, I wasn't paying attention to the story, which a lot of people, like, that's some pretentious self-referencing bullshit that it's like, whatever, don't care about that. And like, there's just nothing original over here, guys and goyles. It's moving boxes, guiding lasers, the puzzle game. That's what I got out of it. I don't hate it, but then again, with that price, I was kind of maybe expecting, you know, a little reach around or something like that, and it just didn't do it for me. So I'm going to say, for the fun, we're going to give that business 2 chairs.
I mean, yeah, the comparisons to Portal are inevitable because it's a first-person puzzle game. I really like this. The first time I booted this up, I sank about 45 minutes into it, and I didn't even realize I had like spent more than about 10-15 minutes playing. I do like the story in the game. I like sort of discovering what's going on and reading all the relevant literature and trying to figure out if my predictions are going to come true or not. I mean, yeah, it's a fun, challenging puzzle game. There are a couple ones that just make my brain hurt. I remember one that stood out was an escalating situation where I had to actually, that was like the first one I actually had to look up the answer for, and I felt so stupid after doing it because it's just like, God damn it! You gave me the hint. That was right in the fucking name. God damn it! I feel dumb. And then, but it does get. But once you do figure out a bunch of these puzzles, especially some of the like the more convoluted ones, you just feel awesome afterwards because you're like, yeah, I'm not a complete sped. I will say I end up dying quite a bit just because like, wait, can I reach that point without him exploding? No. Yeah, Croteam, why couldn't you have made Serious Sam 3 this fun? Fuck! 3 chairs.
Yeah, this game, Jordan already said it, but yeah, it gets a lot of comparisons to Portal because that's what people remember the best, because it's really the only other relevant puzzle game that's been out for the past 10 years.
First-person puzzle game. That's the big one.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing.
10 years.
This, and especially, you know, the later ones like Uru. It follows. This game is a lot like Portal. Myst meets Portal. It's the whole. There's something happening in the real world, and we're sort of stuck on a simulation. And it's Portal because you have a robot, and there's a voice talking to you at the same time as you're figuring out the puzzles. So, yeah, okay.
My child.
For the game itself, it's got very good audio atmosphere, and the graphics are very pretty. I'm assuming, of course, that the texture fuck-ups are intentional, which apparently they are. I can't be sure. And, you know, there aren't a whole lot of games coming out for Linux lately that I can say are genuinely good, that I've actually enjoyed. This is one of the exceptions. 4 chairs.
All right, so that's 3 chairs for fun, and we tally that up, and we get 3 chairs for the Talos Principle. So, Mentalgen, final thoughts.
Look at that, 3 chairs. That means check it out, and
Definitely
yeah,
check it out.
definitely check it out. But it's kind of hard to say check it out at 40 wet stinky caches. That's not something you just go and drop the cache on. There were a few aha moments. I mean, when you're just looking at it from my perspective, which is, I just want to play a puzzle game, there were a couple of puzzles that I was like, yes, after I figured it out. So that's in there. Maybe the story or something, but futzing around with the computer and all that, I was like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to hear voicemails from this segmented other realm of Moonverse. Don't care about that. Give me another fucking puzzle, Get that done, J-Man.
Yeah, this has the potential to be a huge time vampire. You will unknowingly sink hours of your life into this and not feel it. I don't want to say the game lives up to the hype, and it is certainly fairly expensive for what it is, but I would still recommend it. If you have the cash kicking around, I'd kick Croteam some money. They have been supporting Linux from Genesis, even going so far back in the day in 2003, 2004, getting Ickle Butts to port Serious Sam in the second encounter, and even they had Serious Sam 2 Linux port.
Yep.
So I would say keep supporting these guys because they're definitely doing it right. The game is fun as shit, and if you like stories that slowly and methodically unravel and give you these nice little aha moments, this is one for you. So I'd give this a recommend.
Yeah, unlike Ven, I wasn't looking forward to the puzzle so much. I was actually wanting to read more and listen more to the story and the audio logs and everything else. And I was just figuring out the puzzle so I could progress. I could get new entries in the terminals like, yeah, and I have an administrator account. You can do this and do that. Okay, I can see more stuff and I get more lore. And I get to the top of the elevator. You must not go into the tower. But I want to go in the tower. It looks freaking awesome.
Fuck you. I'd do what I want.
Yeah, so for me, it really was a story that sold me. Yeah, the puzzles, some of them are challenging, yes. Most of them are just annoying. They kind of get a bit repetitive after a while because again, it's just redirect the lasers, stack boxes, do a couple of things, and that's it. There's not a whole lot of variety.
Oh, then you learn that the bally, spinny, lasery cubes of death. Oh, you can stack boxes on those? Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. Give me that instruction.
Tutorial wouldn't go amiss, that's for sure. But
one thing I did
for
notice
me-
was that the puzzles are a lot easier than the public test.
yes, they are. But yeah, for me, at $20, 20 euros, yeah, it's totally worth it. Wait for it to go on sale if you're in the US, maybe, and yeah, definitely get it.
All right.
Before we go, one other thing about the terminals. Every time I get met with a command prompt, I immediately start typing things, which
Yeah,
the game
me
really
too.
doesn't like. First world Linux problems come.